NASCAR has completely destroyed the championship and the championship finale. That's what some fans are saying after NASCAR made the announcement that they are going to go to Homestead Miami Speedway in 2026 for the finale and have a rotating championship finale starting in 2027. So, what are my thoughts on this? You'll find out here in this video. Welcome to Cooking Time with John. Welcome back to the channel today. I'm making some lovely eggs. I just got egg yolk all over me. That's fine. But we're talking about, and I'm talking about, NASCAR's newest change to the playoff format at the finale. It's going to be rotating for the foreseeable future in key markets. Key markets is what they say. So what the heck does that mean? It means that probably Charlotte's on the schedule, Vegas, probably Phoenix. Some of those, well, Charlotte, I think, makes sense because of the fact that it is literally the home of NASCAR. But some of those warmer markets, it sounds like, is where they're going to go. But there hasn't been any announcement on what specific tracks are going to be included. Now, some tracks that aren't going to be included in this list of potential racetracks that we're going to see for the championship finale: super speedways and road courses, which I think it'd be cool to see a finale at one of those tracks, especially super speedways. But too many variables. It'd be absolute chaos, but too many variables. Could you just imagine a championship 4 at Daytona or Talladega, or even I think Atlanta could be a good race, but at any of those racetracks, I mean, literally, you were going to have chaos, but also you're probably going to have the greatest turnout that race has ever seen. I mean, you're going to bring hundreds of thousands of fans out, which would be cool to see. But either way, this new championship finale format, I am a huge fan of, and I want to know what your thoughts are, so let me know in the comments. But I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge fan of this format. I think it will add another level of unpredictability to the playoffs when it comes to drivers who have performed well at Phoenix, specifically in past years. Now changing it to Homestead, it is a little bit more of a driver's track that will allow different drivers to excel there. And also, when a rotating schedule, one thing I like about a rotating schedule is that you aren't going to have the same players typically at every single style of track. You are going to have a little bit of variance there, which will increase the excitement level and make it a little bit more difficult for these teams and for these drivers to strategize on what specifically they want to focus on going into the championship finale. It's been Phoenix for God knows how long, and I love Phoenix. Don't get me wrong, it's a great track. But I think the finale needs to be somewhere else. I think the finale ultimately needs to be in Charlotte. It makes the most sense. It's NASCAR's home. It's NASCAR's, playground. It's where they were founded. Pan is ready for eggs. But overall, this move is coming after a fan-centric approach to how NASCAR wants to treat the playoffs, treat the season as a whole. And this is only the first step that they've taken. With this going to Homestead, this means that there's going to have to be a calendar shift in dates. So where is Phoenix going to go? Are we going to keep a second Phoenix date? Are we going to throw that off the schedule? What is this going to do? Because we don't know what that 2026 schedule looks like. So that's where some of the speculation comes in. I would love to see another date at Homestead. Obviously, if we have a spring date, we would have the fall date for the finale. I think going to one race in Phoenix would be fine. Now, the question is, what else are we going to do to the schedule, and what else are we going to do to the playoffs? We don't know at this point. A lot of people that are in my comments on TikTok and Instagram, if you haven't already followed me on there, go check it out, at the Motorsports Enthusiast on Instagram and at Motorsports Enthusiast on TikTok. People are saying that they want a 3-race series for the championship round. Instead of a 1-race finale, you have a 3-race series going from a 1.5 mile / short track to a road course to a super speedway. I think that's a good option. I think in the ideal world, you'll have a short track, an intermediate, a super speedway, a road course, average out the best, the most points. Who's gotten the most points after that? Not averages, but calculate who's gotten the most points after those 4 races, and that's your champion, because what you can do there is actually say this driver excelled and was the best at these different style of tracks. They are the champion, versus saying, you know what, one race is going to decide everything. Even if you haven't won a race, you don't even have to win a race to be a champion in NASCAR, which is kind of crazy to say, but that's the current point system as it is. So a lot of people do not like this move. A lot of people hate this move. A lot of people think it's dumb. A lot of people think that it's just another gimmick. And I am on the complete other side of this. I think that this is probably one of the best moves that NASCAR has made that I can really remember. And the reason why is because Phoenix, while it's a good race, it hasn't been, in my opinion, as good as Homestead. I particularly love the track, love Phoenix, I love Homestead, but from a championship race perspective, I enjoyed Homestead Miami more than Phoenix. Now, when it comes to the actual races that are going to take place in this rotation, there's been Vegas on the table. There has been Phoenix again, Homestead as well. Now, some markets that I would love to see get a race, I would love Charlotte. I would love Darlington. I would love to see a short track. I would love to see a championship finale at Bristol. Just imagine how many people would show up to a championship finale race in Bristol. I mean, it's going to be really cold, and that's some of the biggest arguments here, but I think we can get over that. I mean, like, look at Martinsville in November. I mean, like, October, November, it's cold. So I think we can kind of get away with that just a little bit. But I want to see this rotate to key markets. And when I think of key markets for NASCAR fans, I think of cities. And, some of the big ones that come to play are Vegas. Charlotte is a no-brainer. Not really the city, but for the track, but Darlington would be a good option. I also think that Nashville would be a good option, but not the Nashville Superspeedway. I would love to see the fairgrounds. Yes, the Nashville Fairgrounds get a race for the championship, at least a race on the schedule, because of how close it is downtown. Obviously, you're going to make the residents there very upset, but you know what? They're here, they're there. Whatever, doesn't matter. Have a race there. So, thinking about, I say that tongue-in-cheek. Don't take that seriously, please. Having a race there is definitely going to provide definitely some roadblocks. Of course, with traffic is the big one. But it's in a great market, and I think that when it comes to NASCAR saying they want these to be in key markets, I think they have to take, kind of F1's approach to how they've been able to build on specific markets that they want to dive into. Specifically with Miami. F1 just announced that they're going to have the Miami Grand Prix running until 2041, another 16 years. So if NASCAR can kind of pull off the same deal, potentially with some of these cities, whatever it might be, maybe having a race, who knows, in one of these lower tiered markets from a population perspective that's not really close to a big city, I think we could see this really work out, and I think it's going to be a great opportunity for NASCAR. So as I finish up these lovely eggs, I want to know your thoughts. What do you think about this move? Do you think the championship finale in Miami, 1, is a good move? 2, do you think the championship finale rotating every year is a good move? Yes or no? Let me know in the comments. Today's recipe is simply pepper, eggs, and some salt right here for some lovely scrambled eggs, and not a cast iron, in a stainless steel pan. If you know what I'm talking about, I make the mistake of always calling this a cast iron because I simply cannot tell between one material and the next, but it's fine. We all have our strengths and weaknesses. Either way, thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and you'll get all my other opinions, thoughts, updates coming in motorsports, all different kinds. With NASCAR this weekend, IndyCar in Indianapolis, NASCAR in Kansas. You have World Endurance Championship in Spa, the 6 hours of Spa, really cool race there, along with a bunch of other races going on. So make sure to hit that subscribe so you don't miss any content that I have coming out for those races, my opinions on all these different series and my thoughts. And I'm curious, like I said, about your thoughts. So let me know in the comments. I'll see you next time. Ciao.